This is Thailand's biggest night for hockey. This is Hockey Night in Thailand.
Well, it all comes down to this. It's been a long season. I mean, Keith was a young man when this season first began. But now it's the playoffs and anything can happen. And it's the first game of the second series, second end of our doubleheader. It's almost bedtime. It's 10 p.m. here in Bangkok as this game's getting underway. I have my coffee, I have my donut. I've decided to do it a little bit differently than I have throughout the season. If you go back and watch our broadcasts, there's a lot of times when the second half of the second game, the last 30 minutes of the second game, you start to see me slowed down because I'm sugar and coffee crashing. So I'm going to space this out today. We're going to eat the donut and get that sugar pop going into the third period. Anyway, let's talk about hockey. KCG versus Aware. We saw one upset already today in the 4-1 series, the 4 seed won. I'm Adam Gottschalk. That's Greg Beatty. Keith Mueller is on the other side. What a game we saw in the first game, as just 8 seconds in, a Mike Friesen goal set the tone. Siam Mandalay ends up taking a 1-0 series lead on the number 1 seed Lexicon Lumberjacks. Now, in the second game, I don't know that you can say that there's a clear favorite in this series. On one hand, there was a large portion of this season when it looked like KCG was an unstoppable force. They have so much offensive firepower. But as they hit a lull late in the season, no team was hotter than Aware. And a big reason why, their catalyst, was the play of goalkeeper James Speck. He's in the lineup and getting the start today. I think this is going to be a tremendous hockey game.
Yeah, this one's going to be exciting. I mean, I was watching the players during the warm-up, and if you can tell anything about the game from the warm-up, I'd have to say that there was peppiness out there. The guys are fired up. You can just tell they're concentrating. They're warming up the goalie nicely, skating around hard, stretching on the ice. These guys are fired up. I think this is going to be a much faster game than the first game. First game was entertaining, 4-1. It was a bit of an upset, but this game is going to be on fire.
So let's talk about the strengths of both of these teams. First of all, KCG, 13-3-2. I want to talk about their strengths. I also want to talk about what happened and why those strengths didn't show up for the last few weeks this season. Will we see a rejuvenated KCG team come into the playoffs with a vengeance, and we see the best of guys like Brandon Vick, Jesse Starosta, Nick Lampson, Jan Isaacson? The star power is so deep on this KCG team. Or will we see a team that continues to play a little bit tentative, some guys battling through injuries? There's no Roman Laren in the lineup. There are reasons to believe that this is going to be a very competitive series. There are also reasons to believe that KCG has the firepower to just rampage through the playoffs.
Right. I mean, you talk about the stars, right? So you talk about Nick Lampson and Jan Isaacson. We always talk about them. The 3 names I wrote down, 2 of them you said. Jesse Starosta, he's back in the lineup. He's feeling quite healthy. Brandon Vick, you mentioned him. And the other guy I'll throw in there is Alex Phelps on defense. Watch what he does tonight.
And we don't even talk about guys like Tan Lim Pinpet, who's got 27 points this season.
Yes, and he's out there now on the top line.
As the game gets underway, KCG, who we just told you about, is in the black uniforms, dark gray trimmed in black and white. They have the puck first. There's Nick Lampson trying a little wraparound move himself, and that shot ends up jamming off the skates of Devin Michael. Centering pass off the stick of Christoph Anlicker, who missed a chunk of action this season. Good team when he's back in the lineup as well. Real strong defenseman from Switzerland. As Devin Michael gets the steal and takeaway to my yard, let's talk about the other side. Tell me about Awares. There's Anlicker, by the way, who got the shot on net, goes wide. Let's talk about Aware. They're in the red. They have the puck. Tell me about their strengths and weaknesses.
Okay, so they've got a lot of depth. They've got scoring power. But the 3 names I wrote down are a new guy, Robin Lehman, who's subbing in. He's number 6. Watch out what he does tonight, although he's a little bit sick. Okay, so the goalie saved there. The whistle blew. Okay, so the other 2 guys, Ernesto Bauer, not for his scoring power, but he's got to stay out of the penalty box tonight. And the third person is Mr. Forrester, Patrick Forrester. Very capable, one of the best players in the league. Commands the puck, commands attention, got a great shot, great plays. Let's watch what he does tonight.
Statistically speaking, it has not been a good year for Forstner. And as he goes, so goes the team. As you said, he's perhaps the most dynamic player on the Aware roster. He might be the fastest skater. He might have the hardest shot for the team. But only 8 goals even less, 6 goals, 8 assists this season for Forstner. They need him to be, say, playoff Patrick if they're going to make a run.
Oh, that's a good phrase. Yep, I like that. And so we both equally agree he's a guy to watch tonight.
That was Forstner who started that offensive series for Aware, and the return pass to Forstner goes over his stick. So as we are underway, I'll quickly remind you again of the rules. 17-minute periods. The clock runs unless there's a equipment or injury-related stoppage. And once again, for the second straight game in this doubleheader, we have an early goal from the underdog team. In this case, the prophet himself, Greg Beatty, just said the name Ernesto Bauer. Give him his second goal of the year. The guy had 1 goal coming into this game. You call his name as a key, and he scores a goal just 2.5 minutes into the game, and it's 1-0 Aware as he goes top shelf and beats Gabor Toth. What a play from Bauer, and Aware is buzzing early in this game.
Yeah, no chance for Gabor on that one. It was a good shot, a really good shot.
Let's talk about the goalkeeping matchup since you just mentioned Gabor Toth. He's in net for KCG, James Speck for Aware. You know, you watch them play, they have extremely different styles. You see how tall and athletic James Speck is. Obviously, Gabor plays with a lower center of gravity. He's much older than Speck. However, statistically speaking, they're almost the same, right? Coming into this game, Gabor Toth, 84.5% save percentage, 3.9 goals allowed per game. That's actually better than Speck. 4.1 goals against, 86% save percentage. Tell me about them as a goalkeeper matchup.
Okay, so it's a fun matchup. Both guys are capable of playing outstanding. Gabor, yes, he does take up more space in the net, but you know what? He is extremely flexible, and he is extremely competitive, and he's fun to watch.
He's also a very smart goalkeeper who doesn't often get caught out of position.
Oh, you know, he's a student of the game. He knows his position well, and he loves to play. And he loves to yell at his players, too. You know, he's fun to watch.
You say student of the game, though. James Speck is a goalkeeper coach. That's his avocation.
Yes.
Here's Jan Isaacson's first chance. That one rips wide. I'm going to bring up my key to the game, and maybe my key to the entire postseason. Is that in?
Yep, that's in. Yep.
I don't know that that's in, or it hit the post and bounced right to the goalie. I think that was out.
Oh.
It hit the inside of the iron, bounced right at James Speck, who didn't see it until it hit him, and it's not a goal.
Yeah, obviously I didn't see it either because I thought it was in.
So to finish that point, though, to me, the key to the entire postseason is Jan Isaacson. You know, he had a record-setting year this year. He set the all-time SHL goals record, and the season's not even over yet. And yet, you felt like it wasn't the same player the second half of the season after he had a concussion, followed by a broken jaw, a really tough season for injuries. Never quite the same guy who would just straight take over games after that. However, I don't know if you had a chance to watch any of the Thai national team's performance in Cape Town.
I did.
In 4 games, Jan Isaacson had 2 hat tricks. He was perhaps the best player in the entire tournament. If that Jan Isaacson shows up, I think KCG is going to win the championship.
Well, I think that Jan Isaacson is going to show up in these playoff games. I was talking to him earlier in the donut shop. He's determined to play well, and when he plays well, the team plays well.
Lampson had that one on his stick, and he was looking for Isaacson, who we just name-checked, but it ends up poked away from harm. 2 shots for KCG, 1 for Aware in the game's first 6 minutes. The only goal, though, was that one Aware shot, and it was off the stick of Ernesto Bauer. That one goes into the players' area and out of play. Aware comes in, having finished the regular season 6-10-2, 4-4-2 in their last 10. KCG 13-3-2. Even though they are not the top seed, they ended up losing. They actually lost 3 times to Lexicon Lumberjacks this season. That said, a plus 47 goal differential by a mile, the best in the league this season.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you have Dom as a goalie and supported by Gabor, who's also a good goalie.
Here's Alex Phelps, who will carry the puck in. Gabe Roscoe has been a vital cog for Aware this year. He hasn't played that much. He's missed a lot of games. When he's in the lineup, it's a much more stout defensive hockey team. Roscoe wears 55 in red. Alistair Fawcett jumps in from the blue line to chase the puck into the corner for KCG. As you look at it, look, I mean, we're almost halfway through the first period. You've probably figured it out by now, but KCG is moving from left to right as you see it. Aware moves from right to left, and that's what they're doing right now, but that play is going to be whistled for an offsides. Matthew Maillard had the puck, just kind of, I don't know if he hesitated or slipped a little just as he crossed the blue line, but he ends up just behind the play, and the faceoff will come back out to neutral as both teams change lines.
You know, Adam, you mentioned about James Speck being a goalie coach, and the only negative thing I could say about that, having coached myself when I was much younger, is that when you spend a lot of time on the ice during the day, you do get a little bit fatigued. Mentally fatigued as well as physically fatigued, because you're just in the rink all day long, and it makes it hard to get up for a playoff game.
Here's Lampson, Isaacson, and Limpinpet with him. And what did I say? Jan Isaacson has come to play. There's the Isaacson that we know. There's the league's record setter, and he just potted his 27th of the year. That was off his back foot. He was leaning back and fired a laser beam, and we're tied 1-1.
Yeah, that was a laser beam, top corner. No chance, great shot, great play. Anyway.
Lampson right off the faceoff, powering in. Limpinpet fires and scores 2 goals in 10 seconds. KCG has come to play. Okay,
that was a bit of a soft goal, to be honest with you. So let's hope that James Speck doesn't get discouraged by that. He comes right back and continues to play well, like he's very capable of.
So, all right. We don't really want to address this too much during the broadcast because, you know, for obvious reasons. When the season started, it was, as a whistle as the goal comes off its moorings, it was pretty apparent in the first 3 games of the year that Aware was going to be perhaps the league's most dangerous team offensively. Then, their best player, Oleg Kabakov, was suspended for the season. Losing him, who had 6 goals in 3 games. I remember it was something like 10 games into the year, he was still their leading scorer, right?
Yeah.
Aware is a team that can beat anybody, but I'm still not sure that they've quite figured out their offense enough to play from far behind. If you're Aware and you're now down 2-1, you have to keep it at that margin. You know, I expect this to be a tight game. I expect this to be a very competitive series. The one thing that's going to really change that and make this more of a one-sided affair would be if KCG builds a big lead, because I'm not sure Aware has the offense to overcome more than maybe a 2-goal deficit.
I agree with that. That's why the next goal is going to be very important. If it becomes 2-3 goal spread, they might lose their confidence, and then it's that's half the game is the confidence factor.
Well, here's a 3-on-2 developing. Maillard with White and Michael. Maillard looks to Devin Michael in the middle. His shot was aiming towards that top left corner. Toth got just enough of it to keep it out. A golden opportunity to equalize from Devin Michael, but a nice save from Toth. Now here's Lamson the other way. Speck sticks the foot out and kicks that one out.
That was
a goal.
Stop. Hard stop to make.
That was a high degree of difficulty save from James Speck. I think we can forgive him the soft one because he saved the hard one. Here's Lamson's shot. That one whistled wide. KCG is applying the pressure here, but there's a turnover. Now Patrick Forstner has a breakaway. He's 1-0. Forstner scores and we're tied.
Wow. 2-2.
This is what Forstner can do that almost nobody else in the league can do. Skate at that speed with possession and still get everything on a shot. That's a rare skill. Jan Isaacson can do it. I don't know anybody else right now in this league who's capable of that kind of speed and power with the puck. You know, that was not an easy breakaway. There was somebody right behind him, but he kept his speed, actually built up speed, and still got a perfect shot away. Nice play from Forstner. 7th goal of the year.
Yeah, it's good to see him score.
And there's a steal. Forstner again. Here he comes. The shot handcuffs Toth. Rebound loose. Toth has it covered, and there's a whistle. Man, that's Patrick Forstner playing like a man possessed the last two possessions. Those two steal and breakaways were reminiscent of what we saw in the first game from Tom Stasny.
Yeah, and you know what? I predicted this game was going to be a little bit more exciting than the first one, and it already is.
I just looked up at the clock. I can't believe we only have 4.5 minutes left in this period. This one just flew by. Forstner has it. Turnaround shot. It hit the post. There was a whistle. I mean, did that just ring the iron so loudly that it sounded like the official blew his whistle?
What's this?
Now we have an arm raised and delayed penalty. It's going to be against Aware because Toth was skating out of the goal crease. Skating off is Corey Day, who's... Do you know anything about Corey Day as a hockey player? So he's been on the roster for Aware all season, but this is only his second game played.
Yeah, he's been injured all season long. This is his first game back. He's a very good player. He's a very fit guy. I think he's the swimming coach for one of the international schools here, ISB. I mean, the guy.
Well, the way the ice is melting in such a hot arena, that may actually serve him well before this game's over.
Yeah, he's found his home here. If the ice melts any further, he's a great player, and he's going to be a force for Aware in this playoff series.
If you are just tuning in, you've never watched hockey here before. They've switched this, by the way. Sorry, I'll tell you about the power plays in a minute. They've changed that to a 5-minute misconduct. So it's not a 2-minute minor. Now, because the 2-minute minors are 2.5 minutes here, I don't know whether they're calling that a double minor or a major penalty, which obviously there's a colossal difference between those two. Double minor would obviously mean that a goal ends the power play.
Yes.
A major would mean that it stays a 5-minute man advantage no matter what happens. So I guess we'll see, depending on the results of the next few minutes here. But 5 minutes on the clock on the penalty to Corey Day.
And he's a very clean player, so it just surprises me that he got the 5-minute penalty there because he's a very sportsmanlike person.
I will try and get an explanation, I guess, between periods, but I have no idea what that is. But either way, it's a 5-minute penalty assessed to Aware's number 24. And now a lot of pressure on the shoulders of that man, James Speck, who made that save to try and maintain a 2-2 margin. The one good thing, if you're on the Aware side, is when you have that lengthy, short-handed time, you want it to be interrupted and broken up by the end of periods. So the fact that there is going to be, in 2 minutes and 9 seconds, an end of the period, I think is a small advantage for the penalty-killing team.
Yeah, it certainly helps. A lot of goalie saves and stoppages of play. That's also a strategy that I've always used that one, right? Get the whistle, waste some time, and that's what James Speck did right there.
So the 5 on the ice on the power play for KCG. Lamson, Isaacson, Tan Limpinpet, Christoph Anliker, and I believe that's Yin, who's wearing number 16. He's one of the only substitution in the lineup today for KCG. The only one for Aware is Robin Lehman, who's in number 6. Harrison Oztamel, the interception, looking for the shorthanded goal, and he just missed getting one. Caught a piece of the shoulder pads of Toth, hit the iron, and went high. Down to 60 seconds remaining in the opening period, and 2.5 minutes left on the power play. Forstner with the steal, and he will take it himself and clear. It's Forstner, Oztamel, a whistle, and they're calling an offsides on Lehman, who I guess was cherry-picking a little bit. I didn't even see him. He was kind of right below us here.
Yeah.
No argument from the Aware side, so I guess that was the correct call.
Well, Lehman used to play in the professional league in Germany. He's from Canada, but he played ice hockey professionally in Germany for several years.
What do you want if you're a penalty killer in this league with a running clock? Are you upset if you're aware that you got caught on an offsides, or are you happy that oh, there's another offsides. Are you happy that an offsides means 10, 20 seconds is going to run off the clock while they set up for the face-off? To me, that's the best case scenario. And it just happened again, and that's going to wind down the entire period.
Yep. That's what.
Quickly, let me tell our stations as we hear the buzzer sound. It's going to be your break here, so get a cart ready to fire if you still know what that word means. Local break here for our stations. 2-2 our score. A barn burner of a playoff hockey game will continue after this. It's Hockey Night in Thailand.
This is breaking news from ThailandTV.news. Now all the Thailand news is in one place. The latest reports from around the clock and around the world. Breaking Thailand news from all the world's top news sources, translated into 11 languages and updated 24 hours a day. Here's Ali with more.
ThailandTV.news has it all. The latest news, weather and sports updates, plus up-to-the-minute events listings and fun things to do in Thailand. And that's not all. There's also entertainment, lifestyle, and travel news, including the latest visa information. If it's happening in Thailand, you'll find it here at ThailandTV.news.
It's all here at ThailandTV.news. All the latest news, weather, sports, they even cover ice hockey. It's all done at ThailandTV.news. Yes, it's all the Thailand news, all in one place.
"90 seconds remain on the power play for KCG. It's a 2-2 tie, and the 2-seed KCG, the 3-seed Aware, playing a whale of a hockey game. And just like that, the second period starts much like the first, except this time it's KCG recording the goal about 20 seconds in. Aware got one early in the first. So it was a double minor assessed today. That was Lamson, I think, who got that one.
Yes,
Nick
it was
Lamson just scored his 18th goal of the season. There are some big numbers on the KCG side. A backhanded shot from Lamson that was just perfectly angled above the shoulder pads of Speck.
Ooh.
And Isaacson very nearly followed that one up. You know, the first time KCG scored in this game, they ended up with 2 goals back-to-back and very nearly 3. They score in bunches, and trying to do that again here. Limpinpet has it in the corner. Isaacson goes back to corral behind the net. Feeds Lamson, and his attempt at a tuck just went right through the crease before Devin Michael gets a stick on it. Gives it to White, and Maillard will just fling one in around the net. So 3-2 KCG. 3 goals on 9 shots. Aware 2 goals on 5 shots. For Aware, Bauer and Forstner with the goals. For KCG, Isaacson, Lamson, and Tan Limpinpet. Those are the 3 goal scorers for the league's number 2 team.
Yeah, so KCG's throwing the scoring prowess around. 3 goals, 3 different guys. Okay, two of them are actually all three are very predictable in their scoring capabilities. And let's just see what. And there's Jesse Starosta breaking in. He's usually good for a goal, tapping in a rebound. Let's see what he does tonight.
Forstner played a pretty strong first period. Tries to do it himself, but ends up. This is the weakness in his game. Sometimes he forces it and ends up in traffic. He's so fast that I think that can lead him to play just a little bit out of control at times. But man, you've seen him, as you saw in the first period, when he's on, borderline unstoppable.
I mean, his skills are so great, but you're right. Sometimes he does the extra move, I'll call it, the extra deke or a pass that when he should be shooting it.
There's Gabe Roscoe, the defenseman who jumps in on the play, hooks off, fires a shot. That was actually a pretty nice play. Roscoe. It's a weird thing about Toth, the goalkeeper this season. He seemed to struggle, and remember we saw that one game where 4 or 5 goals beat him. Seems to struggle on low stick side. But he's almost unbeatable low glove side, and that's where Roscoe went with that shot.
Yeah, and sometimes he's so surprising because he's just so flexible, and he makes a great save.
Brandon Vick, what a move. But Roscoe got his body in to keep it from ending up a tap-in for Jan Isaacson. Isaacson still fights for the puck, comes away with it, looking for Yin. It ends up taken back by Corey Day. The goal is a power play variety for KCG and Lamson. And it was Day who was in the penalty box when Lamson scored that goal. I'd like to get some clarification. We got Scott Murray up here. He's walking away. I do want at some point to figure out what that call was against Corey Day that deserved the lengthy...
A double minor, yeah.
Lengthy penalty. Michael skates after that one, catches it, centering pass to Day, but just from his knees couldn't quite get enough muscle on it to get it where it needed to be before the defense collapsed. Now Isaacson on sides, guarded by Ono. And it's Ono who wins that battle momentarily, but Lamson picks it up. What a pass! Lamson to Limpinpet to Isaacson to the back of the net. That is vintage KCG.
Yeah, that was a pretty goal. Maybe the prettiest of the night. Tic-tac-toe.
That forward line. Lamson, Isaacson, Limpinpet, every one of them touched the puck.
Yeah.
One touch passing, and it ends up the second goal of the game for Jan Isaacson. His SHL single-season goal record continues to expand further and further out of reach, except for maybe himself. 28 goals this season, with at least one, as many as 3 games left to play.
Yeah, he's been on fire this season. No stopping him.
Eric Fowley for Aware, now down by 2 goals, 4-2. You have to think for Aware, the next goal is kind of make or break. There's a broken stick on the ice. I don't know who saw their hardware splintered, but somebody lost a stick. Starosta feeds Lamson. All KCG here in the second period. Paul Stoddart jumps in at the blue line to keep it in. Bauer has him defensively. Now there's Lamson back to Stoddart. Alex Phelps, one of your keys to watch in this game, flings one looking for a deflection. It ends up Gabe Roscoe who has it. Now Forstner, be careful. Stick handles around the broken stick. That was actually quite pretty to watch. I don't know how he did it. That was like a video game move, but somehow did not let himself get splintered by the splintered stick. Lamson has it now into the offense, and the loose puck is covered by Speck. We're 6.5 minutes into the second period. It's 3 straight make it 2 in a row for KCG and a 4-2 lead. They've also doubled up Aware in shots.
Yeah, and speaking of shots, not a lot of shots, but the score is 4-2 on 12 shots to 6 shots.
face-off win for Aware, but they're not able to turn it into a possession. Puck was saved at the blue line by Anlicker, and a rifle from Yeen.
It was a rifle.
It's saved by Speck, but what a blast that was.
Yeah, we've always talked about Peem shots. Arguably the hardest shot in the league. Of course, there's a couple of close competitors, but wow, you got to be careful of his shot when you're the goalie.
There's a steal now into the offense was Michael White. Lost control of the puck, though, and nifty stick handling from Isaacson. One-touch pass from Lamson. Gets the return from Limpinpet. There's that trio again. Lamson's shot saved by Speck, and we have a whistle away from the puck. I don't know what that might be.
I'm not sure what that whistle was for. I think maybe the referee lost sight of the puck. Or thought I don't know, James had trapped the puck somehow, but it did bounce off his shoulder.
How do I say in a respectful way that it's not been a good day of officiating? Oh, that went off the pipe. Is there a polite way I can say that still gives respect to the men in black and white?
Yeah, I will say this, that yes, they haven't been 100% tonight on their calls, but luckily none of their missed calls have resulted in any, let's say, upsetting plays or goals, except for perhaps that double penalty against Corey Day, because they killed the first penalty, but they didn't kill the second one. And he was in the box.
And don't forget there was also a goal off a missed offsides call in the first game. But anyway, here's Nick Lamson, breakaway shot, and saved by Speck, who gets low. Held in at the blue line, and that's the correct call. That was just a hair offsides, but offsides nonetheless.
Yeah. Well, that's one they got right.
8 minutes remaining with a 4-2 KCG lead. Look, we both, as humans, root for a competitive series. We like to see the underdog play well. We'd like to see this one go the distance in terms of a 3-game series. I'd like to see Aware play as well as they can. However, also as a hockey fan, when KCG is playing at their best, they are so much fun to watch. And we've seen some of the best passing since probably the first half of the season for KCG in this game so far.
And that's why they're fun to watch, is because they do make those nice plays. Yes, anybody can score from the blue line or score from the slot, bang in a rebound. But these guys are so pretty with their tic-tac-toe passes. It's a
very unselfish team.
Yes. Because they have so many goal scorers that one guy doesn't have to, hog the show.
Ernesto Bauer with a takeaway. He'll look for Forstner. Forstner, beautiful pass. Oztamel, somehow that stayed out. It's still not in the goal. And Toth gets the whistle and the cover. We were talking about pretty passing. That was a gorgeous passing play. And Harrison Oztamel had the best of those opportunities, but it stays out. Let me quickly tell you about a program called OTR. That's something that I am very much aware of. It's become my day job. This is the YouTube channel that we started back in August, focused on producing documentaries about Thailand food, culture, and history. Find us on YouTube at youtube.com/OTR on the road. And now we are very proud to also be a part of the Keith Mueller Television Network. In this case, represented by Thailand TV.tv and Airy.tv, Channel 99, which I have learned that Keith's shorthand of #Gretzky is not.
We're showing our age. That's a number sign to me and a hashtag to you.
Well, it could be a telephone pound sign.
Yeah, well, I figured it was a number sign, pound sign.
Anyway, I would strongly I don't like to ask you to click over to our channel in the most, it's a hockey game. Watch it if you want to. We have good stuff. However, I will tell you, it is worth your time to give us a look. YouTube.com/OTR on the road, or OTRontheroad.com, actually. I need to update the website. It's been probably since before the last hockey games. However, the reason why I said that is because it was our pleasure to do a video on the Siam Hockey League, and through the eyes of Tom Stasny and his donut shop. But it's a hockey story, and it was a lot of fun to do. Both of the people sitting next to me, Greg and Keith, are featured among many others. Jan Isaacson, Patrick Forstner,
That's reason alone to
Nick
watch,
Lampson,
right?
Gabor Toth. 4 of the guys on the ice in this game are in that video. You see CJ Gamble. You see, obviously, star of the show, Tom Stasny. Am I forgetting anybody? Lance Parker, of course. Come on. That is another vintage KCG goal, another nifty passing play, and a perfect finish from Nick Lampson. KCG, I'm sorry to say to the rest of the league, I think they're back.
They're back with a force. Yeah. You just can't stop that first line. They're amazing. It's almost like they score at will.
I'm not sure, and again, I'm saying this without having any statistics in front of me about this. To my knowledge, the Siam Hockey League has never had a 2020 guy, a player who finished a season with 20 goals and 20 assists. Nick Lampson is now 1 goal away from reaching that milestone. He's got 19 goals and 20 assists.
Wow. Let's see if he gets that extra goal tonight.
It's not out of reach, by the way, sorry, for Mike Friesen to get there either. He's got 17 goals and 21 assists as Friesen for Siam Mandalay.
And Mike Friesen's hot these days. He's been playing well in the scrimmages. Even though there's been a month off, we've continued to have the scrimmages on Monday and Thursday, and he's hot there, I can tell you that.
I don't know if you'd say that he's hot. He's just good. He's a good player. I think all season he's been so consistent. Devin Michael with a shot, and Toth able to get that one and keep it out.
Ooh.
It's been so much fun to watch Friesen play this year. You know every game what you're going to get from him, which is, it's a real... There's a lot of guys in the league who it's been fun to watch play. He's certainly one of them.
Yeah, he's got the skills, of course, but you also see the heart and soul that he plays with. You see the energy.
That one is not across the line as Toth traps it between his pad and his glove. Down to 2.5 minutes remaining. Coming up in just a few seconds here, it's KCG 5 and Aware 2. 5 goals on 19 shots for KCG, 2 goals on 15 shots for Aware. It was tied 2-2 at the end of 1. But so far, all KCG here in the second period. Face-off win. Now Nick Lampson's going to turn on the Jets. Lampson gets around everybody. Lampson with a shot. And it catches the shoulder pad of Speck and manages to just graze the netting behind the cage.
Yeah, James is making a lot of nice shoulder saves tonight.
I think Nick Lampson, sorry to interrupt you, I think Nick Lampson just got really upset that he heard me up here say that Patrick Forstner was one of the fastest skaters with the puck in the league. I think Nick Lampson said, are you sure about that?
I can show you that I'm just as fast.
Lim Pinpet behind the cage to Lampson. Back to Tan. Ono has him.
No one's checking him. I mean, they're just passing the puck around, and no one's forcing him. No one's forcing the play. They're not forcing mistakes. They're just sitting back like pylons.
Yeah, that little explosion from KCG has taken the wind out of the sails of Aware for the moment. 1 goal can turn the tide here, but Lampson just made a bid for a hat trick. But nice save from Speck. Lampson kind of yelled at himself. I don't think he was happy with where he put that puck. I think that wasn't where he was aiming. Nick Lampson playing like a man possessed. Beautiful pass to Isaacson, whose shot was bothered by his partner at the barn, Patrick Forstner. Pretty nifty offensive set for KCG, but it ends without a goal. And now Forstner is going to be taken down on the breakaway. The question is, will he get a power play or a penalty shot?
I hope it's a penalty shot. But
no indication yet. It's a slash, and it's just going to be a power play, I believe. That could have gone either way.
Yeah.
But quickly, as the clock ticks down to half a minute, let me once again remind our affiliates, it is your commercial break coming up. So as the first period ended with time remaining on a power play for KCG, we will begin the third period, barring a quick goal here, with a power play for Aware. That will take the remaining seconds off the clock. We're going to head to period number 3. KCG 5, Aware 2. 2 minutes and 16 seconds of power play time still to come for Aware. And we'll bring that to you after this. It's the playoffs here on Hockey Night in Thailand. Keith is signaling to me that we're back on the air. I hadn't finished my donut yet. Pardon me, viewers.
I feel a union grievance coming.
Keep talking, fill some time. I'm going to have some of my coffee here.
All right.
Thank you to Tim Hortons. All right, 5-2 our score. It is an Aware power play for another 2 minutes here. If you're on the Aware side, just to get this game to overtime, you need to outscore. That's offsides. That's badly offsides. Offside. I think Maillard might have lost track of who had the puck. Anyway, we were saying, Greg, how does Aware get back in this game?
Well, I mean, the cliche is one goal at a time, right? But they do have to score that next goal, right? That's going to give them the confidence. If they don't get it, they're just going to play the period out without the finesse that they're capable of.
I have no doubt that Aware is capable of the goals they need to get back in this game. The question is, can they also hold KCG scoreless in the period? KCG's playing one of the best offensive games we've seen from them since probably the end of 2022. And there's a 2-on-0, and only a dynamite save from James Speck keeps the puck out of the net. That time it was Yin.
Yeah, so they got to score the next goal. They have the opportunity because they have the power play. But they can't give up a shorthanded goal like that.
Well, the risk when you're down, as Aware is you do have to sell out on offense a little bit, which is going to create some odd man rushes the other way. You can't just stay in a balanced attack. And, oh my goodness, another shorthanded opportunity. This has been a better power play for KCG than for Aware, and it's an Aware power play.
Yeah.
That time it was an Isaacson backhand that Speck stayed with. And how did that happen? You don't often see a clearing pass shatter a stick.
That's the third broken stick tonight. There was one game one, now this is the second one in this game.
Do you watch any baseball? Have you ever seen how like a corked bat explodes?
Yeah.
Is there any advantage to corking a hockey stick? You can't. It's too. You can't do that. I'm kidding. It doesn't exist. It's not a thing that exists. Yeah. That was weird. I haven't seen a stick explode that way on a pass.
Well, you can't cork it, but you can curve it, right? Some of the guys would heat their blades up and bend it, because I think the NHL rule is maybe half an inch or something. You can't put a bigger curve than half an inch, but some of the guys would put a flame to it, heat the wood up, and bend it.
I have been known to have attempted to do that before, so I won't criticize anybody for gaming the system just a bit. It didn't work out too well. I ended up just setting my stick on fire.
Well, I think the first player that discovered that molding the stick, bending the stick, was Bobby Hull.
Is that right?
He was the first guy to do it.
I think that's right.
Thanks for that confirmation, Keith.
I'm here to help.
That's the Chicago voice coming through.
That's
strong.
right.
Yep. Bobby Hull, number 9, right?
That's right.
Hashtag not 99, but number 9. Right?
KCG will find Nick Lamson all alone on a breakaway. Lamson's shot is in, and a hat trick for Nick Lamson. He has just become a 2020 player. 40 points, 20 goals, 20 assists for the great number 17 in black. It's 6-2. It's all academic from here. And at this point, what we can say is the KCG offense that we wondered where it went the last 5-6 weeks of the regular season, the break did them well. And Aware is going to have to really rethink their game plan strategy going into the second game of this series, which we'll see on Sunday, as Aware is facing a team playing with a great deal of confidence right now.
Yeah, they've got their mojo back.
Another goal involving Lamson and Isaacson. That trio, Lamson, Isaacson, and Tan Lim Pinpet, the first line forwards for KCG, has put on a clinic in this hockey game. Nick Lamson was off to the races again, except the pass hit the door of the players' bench area and took a crazy bounce back the other way. There's a steal. Corey Day just scored for Aware. Puts them back on the board for the first time since the first period. Welcome back, Corey Day.
Yeah, his first game back, he scores a goal. It was a nice one. And good to see that, because Corey's quite a competitor.
Oh, a really nice goal, too. That's a goal scorer's goal. Picked up a loose puck in front of the net, knew exactly what to do with it, and he's on the board with his first goal of the season in his second game officially played for Aware. Was he injured in the first game of the year? Is that what happened?
Actually, I can't recall. I don't think it was from ice hockey.
Okay. Here's Matthew Maillard now as Aware trying to make a charge. He dribbles one in that Toth is able to kick aside. But Aware saying, don't count us out quite yet. David Bohr for KCG will intercept the loose puck. It would be offsides, but nobody touched it for KCG. And now Michael White is going to race to the puck with Alex Phelps. White did get there first, spins around, feeds Devin Michael, who can't quite get a handle on the puck. Brendan Vick has him. Michael centering pass is intercepted by Phelps, who will just push it towards Toth. Covers the puck.
Yeah, so just over 10 minutes remaining in this game. I don't think this one's going into overtime, but I'd like to see Aware finish it off with at least another goal, maybe 2, just to keep their confidence going into the next game. They want to end on a good note in this game.
Oh, there's a steal by David Bohr. He's got Brendan Vick behind him. Not the fleetest of foot, though, for KCG, and Aware is able to collapse on him defensively and prevent the 1-on-0 breakaway. Let's say he's a good hockey player who just doesn't benefit by being on the ice at the same time as a guy like Nick Lamson. They're different styles of skaters, we'll say.
Yeah, different age groups on that one. David's he's, generally a threat out there, but he's he skates in a labored way, and he's got a big body, so he's got a lot of weight to move.
16-point scorer this year. He's
a
good hockey player. 7
yeah?
goals, 9 assists for Bohr coming in.
There you go. I mean, he's a good. He knows the position well. He's been playing a lot of hockey all his life. He's a smart player, but he doesn't have the zip that he used to have. That's what I'll say. Let's say 5 years ago. As a goalie,
none of us do.
Yeah, yes, none of us do. As a goalie, I always when he's coming in on me in the breakaway or the 2-on-1, I'm always worried. He's one that he knows where to place the puck.
Roscoe jumps into the play to hold the line. He's got Devin Michael chasing after it into the corner, overlapping with Michael White. And it's finally intercepted. Lamson, Isaacson, and Lim Pinped. Here comes that three-headed monster for KCG. Tan has it go between his skates, but picks it up again in the corner. He's got Roscoe defensively. Roscoe won that battle temporarily, but lost his stick, which allows Tan to get the puck again. There's an interception. Maillard will chip it ahead to Michael. Devin Michael not really skating his hardest after it, though. Slows down, picks up the puck, centering pass to White. I don't know what... That really was a slow developing opportunity, I thought, for Aware. Either way, here's Tan. Limpinpet's shot into the crook of the elbow of Speck. Didn't quite squeeze the glove on it, but keeps it out. Plays on. Lamson with the interception. Lamson to Yeen. His shot is rocketed, but gets a piece of a defender. On the rebound, it's loose behind the net. Isaacson had a shot at it, but it didn't get on net. Yeen will skate after it. Devin Michael's able to chip it back to neutral ice. Down to 7.5 minutes left to play in the hockey game. 6-3 our score. Nick Lamson has 3, make it 4. Nick Lamson playing a superstar game here. He's the exclamation mark on the forward line that has, I mean, if I knew, I don't have assist statistics in front of me, but I'd love to know how many combined points those 3 players have in this hockey game. Nick Lamson is having himself a playoff game.
So that's his 4th goal of the night?
It's 4th goal of the night.
Wow. I mean, if you take him out of the equation, it would be a tie game, 3-3.
Yeah. I mean, well, unless somebody else just, you know, there's enough weapons on that team.
Yeah, they do have depth. Depth on the bench, as they say.
Isaacson now needs one more goal in this game to get his own hat trick, so we'll see what he can come up with. There's Forstner's rifle.
Again, a quick whistle.
Well, quick whistle because I think Toth got that one in an uncomfortable spot. I don't know if that hit him where glove meets protection, but it looked like that one stung a little bit. I don't mind the quick whistle when it's for player protection, I guess, and in that case...
Yeah, I mean, he did go down. He looked rattled, so, yeah, okay.
He took off his glove immediately, so I wonder if it caught him somewhere like on... You know, you do have that little weak spot.
Yeah, right at the back of the wrist.
Yeah.
Whoa.
There's a steal. It's Starosta whose shot is covered by Speck. 29 shots now for KCG, 7 goals, Aware 3 on 19. To me, the story of this game has nothing to do with Aware's performance. They've actually played a pretty good hockey game, all things considered. The crazy thing is, James Speck is a top 2 or 3 goalkeeper in this league. This is not KCG doing this against a bag of potatoes, right? This isn't the old shopping cart in net. This is one of the best goalkeepers in the league. But again, it shows, you know, if you're Aware, you have to go into the next game with a completely different strategy that involves pushing guys out of position. You cannot allow the quick passing game. There's nothing a goalkeeper could do. Dominik Hasek would have given up 4 or 5 goals the way that KCG was allowed to operate at, you know, I don't know about Hasek. Maybe he would have stopped him. But still, like, those 3-on-1s, 4-on-2s. But the scary thing is some of these have been in set offensive possessions. It's just untouched passing, nobody getting in the passing lanes, and KCG has put up some absolute highlight reel goals.
Yeah, you know, usually like a 2-on-1 is a dangerous play for a goalie. But when KCG comes down on a 3-on-2, which is usually a controllable situation for the defense, they are just as dangerous as if it's a breakaway or a 2-on-1. They just do the tic-tac-toe passing, and it's I mean, it's a joy to watch. But I mean, they've got Aware rattled tonight.
I'm gonna say that both of the games today have gone very differently from how I anticipated. You know, I truly believed that Lexicon Lumberjacks were going to, you know, I won't say dominate Siam Mandalay, but obviously they came in a heavy favorite. They were the top seed in the league. Siam Mandalay was you know, had a very tough season. Siam Mandalay didn't just win the first game, they were the better team in the first game. They played a tremendous hockey game in Game 1, and they won. And in Game 2, I thought, based on the last month of the season and with James Speck in net, that this would be one of those games that maybe goes to overtime, maybe it comes down to the wire, 3-2, 3-3. It's KCG's offense had been struggling since Starosta had the injury, Isaacson had the injury, hadn't heard much from Vic, hadn't heard much from Lamson in a while. But no, this game has turned into, this is like watching a game from December again.
Yeah, I didn't know who was going to win, but I expected it to be a close game, like you just said. But it's not.
All the credit in the world to KCG. Man, they've played well today. Quickly want to thank our production crew, as this is the end of a 2-game doubleheader. We'll have another one of these for you on Sunday. Sunday, it's the normal 8:30 p.m. start time instead of today's slightly delayed 8:45. That's Thailand time, and also theoretically New York and Toronto time, just in case you're watching it from there. It's just the other 8:30, 8:45. Anyway, production crew this evening, executive producer of Hockey Night in Thailand is Keith Mueller, who has done yeoman's work to keep us somehow on the air through an indoor rainstorm as the condensation in the arena has dripped water on us all night. I'm looking at our gear. I don't know how this has not fried yet. We are saturated and soaked, and that includes all the electrical stuff, but whatever. That's a Keith problem, as everything else is. Camera crew Jin, Pung, Ellie, Opor, Tanya, and Sonia. Greg, Beatty, you back with me on Sunday as well?
Yes, I'd be happy to be back. And by the way, Aware's got a power play right now.
It's David Bohr who's in the penalty box. Sorry, I was cracking Keith Mueller jokes.
Oh, and they scored a
Jan Isaacson just scored his shorty, which means a double hat trick now for KCG. Isaacson has a hat trick. If you include the national team performances in South Africa, that's 3 hat tricks in 4 games for Jan Isaacson, I believe.
Yeah.
Because he scored 2 hat tricks in the last 3 games in that tournament. Anyway, point being, 3 goals in the game for Jan Isaacson, who is now 1 goal shy of a 30-goal season. And this is game number 19 for KCG. We also saw a hat trick today, obviously, plus for Nick Lamson. Here's Forstner. Toth is able to hold the iron and keep that one out. We're in the last minute of play here. Oh. And there's a steal now. Brandon Vick, along with Jesse Starosta, has a breakaway. And Aware still doesn't even have guys back. There's still only 3 players back for Aware. I understand that this one's a formality at this point, but it was a little painful to watch. 8-3 our score as we reach the final 25 seconds. So here's how this all shakes out. On Sunday, if Siam Mandalay wins and KCG wins, then that's our matchup in Championship Saturday the following week. If Lexicon Lumberjacks win and or Aware wins, then we will have a decisive Game 3, and that's going to be played next week, a week from today on Thursday night. So final score here, 8-3 KCG, the win against Aware. Siam Mandalay, a 4-1 win in Game 1. KCG, a 8-3 win in Game 2. Let's talk about this one first before we look at the overall playoff picture.
Sure.
What did KCG do after that first period when it was a 2-2 score? It was a tight and competitive hockey game. All of a sudden, second period starts, and it was all KCG. What was their game plan, and how did they execute?
Well, they just, they have so much depth. Of course, the Lamson and Jan Isaacson, they scored 7 goals between them. You can't shut those guys down. Aware couldn't find a way to do that. And if they weren't coming at them, they have like a whole slew of the second line and the third line that can just keep hammering away.
Well, what's the old line about the stars shine brightest in the postseason? We saw a dominant Game 1 performance today from Thomas Stasny, from Mike Friesen in the opening game. In Game 2 today, we see a dominant performance from Jan Isaacson, from Nick Lampson, from Tanlim Pinpat. Gabor Toth in net was a brick wall after the opening period.
Yep.
So, I mean, this is what happens. What's the old expression that my old football coach used to say? Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. It's the postseason.
And that's what happened tonight. That's a good description of tonight. That's a good summary. The Stars came to play.
Well, I'm gonna
Alrighty.
time my sugar crash exactly right today. Thank you to Tim Hortons. Thank you to you, Greg.
Thank you, Adam.
And
Keith. And the
Yeah.
team.
thank
Well,
yous all around. Thanks
we'll
to our
see
camera
you guys
crew.
in a couple days on Sunday night.
So we're live on Sunday just before 8:30 for the doubleheader. It is the same two matchups, and I can't wait to bring it to you.
And between now and then, OTR. All our viewers should be watching OTR.
And new video just went online a couple of days ago. We got another one next Tuesday. I'll tell you about it on Sunday. In the meantime, for all of us here in Bangkok, thank you so much for watching. This is the playoffs on Hockey Night in Thailand.
This has been a presentation of Thailand TV.tv, winner of the SHL Golden Mike Award for Excellence in Broadcasting for Hockey Night in Thailand.